You can be able to see on LinkedIn.
Yes, the
Hello,
stream is
hello,
live.
hello. Yes, 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 we're live. We're live. A super, super happy Sunday. Tuning in from a sunny, hot Gaborone. That's my city, right in Botswana, right next to South Africa. And this is very exciting, being the first show, the Happiness Tribe, that's going to be streaming live. Isn't that awesome? So this is Miss Kim. We are live on LinkedIn. We are live on YouTube. I'm joined by our beautiful Miss Paula, a great farmer. So she has
Thank
all the
you.
good food, and all the recipes we need. So Miss Paula, please introduce yourself to our audience.
So, yes, blessed day from around the world, wherever you're at. Thank you for coming to visit with us, hanging out with us. It's the holiday season. My name is Marjorie Paula Norales. Just call me Paula. I am a farmer. I live in Belize. I am also a proud member of the Happiness Tribe. And I'm just excited to be here. I don't celebrate the holiday. Don't tell anyone. Christmas to me is every day. Christmas is every day. Nonetheless, I'm excited to be here and to hear what everyone else has to say and what their favorite foods are, what their favorite spirits are, and even probably their favorite games during the holiday season. So thank you, welcome, and just let's get it started.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Paula. Yes, we all have different ways of how we look at Christmas. I'm from a Christianity background. So, yes, indeed, I celebrate Christmas. But this is sort of, it has turned into a family time. It's that time that I reminisce growing up, where the tradition was we would all go to my grandmother's place with all my cousins, the extended family, and we would slaughter a goat. And
Oh,
that would be
okay.
a feast. Yes, we slaughter a goat, and that would be a huge feast. And then we have special food for Christmas, which especially back then, it's a wheat product. I'm not sure you know. It's it's popularly called as chapati. We have
Chapati
a
made
lot
out
of,
of wheat.
yes, it's like
Okay.
naan. Of course, you know naan, right?
No, I don't think I do.
It's okay. Naan is very popular with Indians.
Okay, yes, 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 yes. Now I get it.
Yeah, so we have a lot of Indian influence within our dishes. But Miss Walla, before you tell us your childhood stories and what you grew up eating, I think we have a guest here by the name Ketura. Ketura, please say hi.
Hi, hello, good morning. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, hey, how nice.
Hi. I just wanted
I'm glad to
to.
see you. From your voice,
Hi.
I could tell. From your voice, I could tell. I'm sure you know your mom is my big sister, right?
I know. It's so lovely to be here and meet everyone and just share ideas. Like you said earlier, Miss Sally, like the favorite food, the favorite drinks for Christmas. For me, my tradition for Christmas is just cooking good food, hanging out, and just enjoying each other's company.
Awesome. Awesome. Yes, indeed. And what do you call good food?
For me, good food is just having flavor in there, just making everything flavorful and tasteful. And when you bite into certain things, it tastes
Uh-huh.
amazing. It feels like home for me.
Nice. And are you a big fan of cooking?
I love it. I love cooking. It's my
Nice.
passion. It makes me very relaxed when I do it. And I'm just so fascinated to see how something starts from an ingredient and
Yes.
turn out to be like a great dish.
And I can
Te-
imagine almost every other dish has coconut.
Yes, correct.
We have the same here for people who live close to the coast, who live by the coast, because coconut grows by the coast, right?
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. But like in
Yeah.
Belize, we use coconut for like baking, like if you're baking bread and buns and stuff like that. And we also use
Mhm.
coconut in like beans and in rice and beans
Mm.
and stuff. It's used for different variety of things in food. Yeah, that's correct.
Awesome. Yes, we actually popularly use it as well in rice and in
Hmm.
beans.
Nice. Because it just
But
gives it a
when you
different flavor.
Yes, it does. But then when you are in a landlocked country like I am right now in Botswana, it is very expensive.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And you can't actually get the natural coconut. You have to get the cream, which is packaged with preservatives. So it's not the same.
Oh, I have a problem with using processed food when I'm cooking. I hate that. I don't want anything in a
Mhm.
pack or process. Everything has to be organic, and I have to make my food from scratch. So I am very anal about that when I'm cooking.
So
Oh,
Keturah,
nice.
that's actually a very good point. So what do you do when you live in like Norway and you live in places where coconuts don't grow? How do you still cook with coconut or do you find an alternative?
I find an alternative really because you can get like organic coconuts in like the boxes
Okay. So
and
prepackaged coconut.
prepackaged coconut, but they claim it's organic, but we don't know what's inside, right? But okay, let's go with it. And most of these things you can normally get in like these Asian store because they're the only one that carries these brands, like different ingredients that I need for my food. I need to go
Right.
into like an Asian store to get these things. Mm.
Yeah. It was like that in the United States too. When you're in certain places, you can't get like the northern countries, coconuts don't grow there, lime doesn't grow there like that. Well, now they're growing them in greenhouses, but we
Mhm.
used to have to go to the Asian store too. So Keturah, tell us what you're cooking for this holiday season. I know you just got home to Belize. Your birthday's around the same time. We're going to be hanging out. What are you cooking?
Yay. So I'm just going to be making, yeah, I'm just going to be making the regular Belizean Christmas food. So it's going to be rice and peas, or rice and beans, as we call it here. I'm going to have turkey. I'm going to have ham, stuffings, and cranberry, and a potato salad. So that's what I'm making.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. Well, you know what's interesting about this, Miss Sally? When I was
Hmm?
growing up and we used to come to Belize, the food
Yes.
was different. We had turkey, but we raised turkey. We raised our own turkeys, ducks, chickens. But it wasn't until later on when I was growing up that turkey really became a
Mhm.
staple food for
Mhm.
Belizeans. Most Belizeans didn't really eat turkey like that back in the day. They would roast a chicken, not
Mhm.
necessarily a turkey.
Mhm.
So I'm saying this to say that maybe the American culture or the Western culture has somehow had an impact on the kinds of foods we eat at certain holidays. What do you think, Keturah?
It definitely has. A lot of American culture has been seeping into Belize because remember, we're like mimicking the things that we see that the Americans do. And a lot of our people from Belize have migrated over to the United States. So it's very common. Yeah, I believe so.
It is. What are you seeing, Miss Sally, on your end?
Yes, actually, a lot of that has changed. What we called like our natural food, there's a
Hmm.
movement, it's coming back. Because traditionally, like let's say, even growing up as a child, we ate a lot of tubers. That is
Mm.
sweet potatoes, arrowroots, what else? Sugarcane.
Ooh.
Then it got to a point where that stopped like being a favorite. Cassava stopped being a favorite and it became very expensive. Now there's a huge movement coming back on sort of like we're finding back our roots. But then it's
Wonderful.
coming back. Yeah, it's coming back when that kind of food that we actually took for granted, it's now a delicacy and very expensive. And also, people have come up with different ways of making that food. We just used to boil it. We just used to boil sweet bananas, arrowroots, cassava, which still today we boil, but now we'll boil and put it in oil, which
Mm.
in a
Mm,
way,
we don't know.
yeah, we actually make it like almost everything is made into chips. So we make arrowroot chips, sweet potato chips,
Oh,
sort of
wonderful.
French fries. It's still delicious, but the whole thing of putting it in oil makes it something different.
But wait, can I ask a question, Miss Sally?
Yes, please.
So when you after you have boiled, so do you boil it first and then add oil to the
Yes.
to the potato or
No.
whatever you're boiling?
We actually okay. So like the Irish potatoes, we still cook them so many different ways. You can make fries, you can mash it, you can boil it, whatever
Mm-hmm.
you want to do. I've just made my lunch dish with potatoes, Irish potatoes. It's sort of that food that you grew up with and has to be part of your kitchen meal every other day. So I
Mm-hmm.
just did Irish potatoes. Then I overspiced my chicken, so I decided everything gets into the pot.
That sounds lovely.
So of course my kids complain this mixed food. We don't want to have mixed food. But
Oh,
then you have a way of playing with food in the kitchen and it comes out super nice. But
yeah.
back to your question, Ketura, I think that's what I love about cooking, the creativity in it. So
Mm.
yes, how we do the arrowroots, the cassava, the sweet potatoes, you boil it fast and then you put it in hot cooking oil.
Oh.
So it's very tasty, it comes out crispy like
Oh yeah.
fries.
Mm-hmm.
But then, of course, you're putting it in oil. So if we want to talk about eating healthy,
Yeah, it's not
there's a bit
really
of a
healthy, is it?
yeah.
Well, really, and it depends on the kind of oil. And I was thinking, if you're throwing it, if you're parboiling it or you're half boiling it initially, it doesn't take that long to cook it when you drop it in the oil, right, Miss Sally? It would cook faster. Or I don't know. It just seemed like it would.
Well, arrowroots and sweet potatoes and cassava can take up to an hour. And we associate food that takes so long to cook with the type of soil where it was grown. So if it takes an hour, it also signifies that it's very rich, nutrition
Okay.
wise. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yes.
interesting. So,
Yeah.
do
It's
you
very
all include cassava and the roots in your Christmas or holiday season food? Is that part of it?
Yes, now we do. I mean, to us, it's sort of we do buffet.
Okay.
So
Okay.
from we have some traditional beans. I actually had them recently, which they don't grow. We don't find them in the southern Africa, but they're very common in East Africa. So my sister sent some of that food to me, my sister in Kenya. And
Mm.
those beans can take you up to 2 hours to boil.
Wow.
Wow.
Extremely delicious. We mash them with sweet potatoes. Sorry, no,
Mm.
we mash them with bananas, ripe bananas. It
Mhm.
is such a delicacy.
Wow.
Wow.
So
I'd like to taste that.
it's so delicious. You can't stop eating it. And it's actually
Wow.
traditionally made for when a mommy, what do you call when a mommy gives birth? What's the English
Huh?
word? When you've just gotten a baby. Yes.
When you just
Because
had a
it's very,
baby,
yeah, when you've just had a baby.
uh, is
We
it like
actually have
some?
a lot of food. Uh,
It's giving birth. I mean, is there another word?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't know.
I don't think so. It's because I'm thinking in my mother tongue because we have a word for that.
Okay. They
Okay.
don't. Americans don't have a word for that. There's not an English word that compares to that.
Hmm.
I know it's very possible. So it's quite delicious. Can I be allowed to say hello? Because I'm trying to type
Please
on
do.
LinkedIn. It's only allowing me to type on YouTube. So yes, hello, Grace. So good to see you. Hello, Chiesa. Oh, Chiesa, you need to come on stage and tell us about your favorite food from Zim. Chiesa is from Zimbabwe, and Zim for the longest time. Chiesa, am I allowed to say was? Because I don't think it is now. I'm not going to be political. I promise.
You can't help it.
Zimbabwe, I just can't. Zimbabwe used to be the food basket of Africa.
Oh wow.
Like
Yeah.
Zimbabwe used to feed the entire continent until they did something and something happened and so I'll still not be political. So they no longer have as much food, but they still have a lot of nutritious food. So I
Yeah.
need to read this from Chiesa. Just listening to you ladies sharing your various dishes is making my imagination so happy with anticipation of possibilities. You know what,
Yeah.
Chiesa? You can actually just type your favorite recipe. I'll read it out. And then
Yeah.
she says again, loving the recipe of bananas, mashed beans and ripe bananas. Do you have that dish, Chiesa? Then I can see Grace is telling us we do have a word for that to in Trigueña. I'm trying to read it out like a typical African to say Trigueña very well. So Grace is from Eritrea.
Oh.
And I think, please, Grace, save me because I'm embarrassing myself now. What
No, no,
language
no,
do
no,
people from?
no. Grace, can you tell Miss Sally the name of after giving birth? Because Miss Sally, okay, were you asking what is the name of a woman after she's giving birth, or were you asking about a certain celebration that you guys have after a woman gives birth?
She can answer to both, but I don't think we don't have a word for the celebration, do we? No, it's just baby showers. But we
Okay.
have, I've seen almost every tribe or community I've interacted with in Africa, we have a word for a woman when she gives birth. I don't know, Cheza, you say the same. In Botswana, they say, now I'm put on the spot, I forget. Motete. We call them motetes when you've just given birth. Yeah, because it's sort of
Okay.
an endearment word. You're a special person, and everybody's
Oh.
taking care. Yeah.
Wow. But in the English community or like places in Belize, before a woman gives birth, then we have a celebration, and that is called a baby shower.
But
Yes,
it's
we
the
also
same
do baby.
thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Go ahead,
okay.
Miss. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just adding to what Ketura was saying. We do baby showers,
Okay. So it's
but
not the
then we
same
also have
thing.
it's more or less the same thing. The only it's more or less the same thing. The only thing is different communities we have different traditions
Okay.
to celebrate a newborn.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. So Chiesa says she's learned something today. We have delicacy. I'll share the recipe. With Linda. Thank you, Linda. Thank you for joining us. She says we stay blessed and stay blessed too, Linda. So maybe this is exciting, but as we get into it, can we, Miss Paula, get to know from Miss Ketura? Would love to get some lessons, especially something I find so exciting is how Belizeans make their own wine. I want to live in Belize because I love wine.
Oh
Well,
my God.
I can kind of start. Just a quick second, Ketura. I can. One of the things that I found out when I got here was that Belize, where Belize is located along the equator, we have a lot of fruits, and we have a huge variety of fruits, and even the
Mhm.
tubers that you were speaking about, Miss Sally. In Garifuna
Yeah.
culture, we make wines from those as well. We make cassava wine. We can make sweet potato wine. We make rice wine.
Wow.
We make wines out of all kinds of things, including all the fruits. So we just had a I have a little bit of what is it called, cashew, the cashew tree, the cashew fruit. It makes some wonderful wine, not just jams, but it makes wonderful wine as well. So I'll stop there and let Katura tell you about what she thinks. And
I want
star
to live
fruit,
in Belize. And I love cashews.
I do too. I
I
do
can only
too.
imagine. I'm already
The
celebrating. I'm celebrating.
star fruit, mango, passion fruit, even banana wine. So wine is made
Wow.
from all kinds of things.
So you have
Hold on a
local
minute.
fruit.
Hold on a minute. I'll take a minute. Ketura, you can go ahead. Let me answer this. Some people are asking to get the link to get in on, so I'll send them the link.
Okay.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Ketura.
Okay, as mom was saying, in Belize, there is so much fruits growing everywhere. So the local people in Belize, they prefer to make their own wine, just to have it at home. And if I'm being 100% honest, I haven't made wine myself. I know that my sister and my mom has been experimenting with making wines with fruit.
Uh-huh.
I don't really know the
Uh-huh.
process and what they do, but I have tasted the wine and I will say it's very amazing. It's good, you know?
Wow.
And there's like different flavors. So, like I said, the local people source their own fruits and they make their own local wine. And you can also buy local wine here in Belize as well. Because I think, or I believe the concept in Belize is if you can do it yourself, then why would you want to go and buy it? You know what I'm saying?
Which is so cool. That
Mm.
sounds like people are very entrepreneurial or problem solvers.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what it is, Miss Sally. Like, for example, in Zangriga, where I'm at right now, everyone
Mm-hmm.
here, they do like their own bread. Like we bake our own breads here. You know what I'm saying? We make our own
Yes, so
wine, for
cool.
example. We make our own jams, oil. So it's very popular in Belize to make your own stuff. It's more organic, it tastes better, and you don't have to go and waste your money at the store buying those artificial stuff.
I
But now,
love especially the sound of organic.
Mm.
but if you don't, and if you can't make the wine, you can buy local wines. But if you have a flavor for some other types of wine from around the world, that
Mhm.
is possible too. Can I interject here? I think this is Chiesa that says, I remember seeing a snippet online where women in Malawi actually brew banana wine too. I wonder if they
Wow.
use green or ripe banana because there is a difference. And the way the wine comes out, it's ripe banana. In some places, they use green banana dough. So
Yeah.
it's interesting to see. I would love to see how they actually do that. But imagine
Mhm.
how this can be a complete, like a global industry for local wines. Wines don't need to just be made out of grapes or apples, they could be made out of local fruit.
That is true.
Ladies, can you take us through the process? You can pick any product, whether it's cashew, bananas. What is the process? How do you make sure it ferments? That is
So
quite intriguing.
if I may, I
Mm.
can speak to this simply because we've been experimenting on the farm. Because
Mhm.
we're growing a fruit garden, so to speak. So it's all fruit trees. So all the fruits can be used for jams, jellies, preserves, and wines. So we've been looking at the wine and we've been experimenting. So now I'm not the subject matter expert here, y'all. My other daughter, Nikiba Nasani, is actually the one that's much better at making the wine, but this is the process that we use. So when we get the fruit, and I mean fruit here, when the fruit is bearing here on the trees, it's lots of fruit. It's lots of it. It's bountiful. So what we do is we pick up the fruit, right? And I was surprised by that because I thought we would pick the fruit off the tree before it fell. But my daughter said, "No, mom, let the fruit fall. You want it to be really ripe. As the riper it is, the better it is. So let them fall off the tree. We pick them up. We wash them with water. We wash and rinse them really, really well. And we put a little bit of either lime, we squeeze lime or vinegar in the water to decontaminate the fruit because we're picking it up off the ground.
Mhm.
Once we're finished with that and we wash it, we take the whole fruit. We use all of it, including the seeds. Well, it depends on what the fruit is. But for the most part, we take the fruit, we wash it, and we put it in a container that can be sealed, like a bucket that we can seal.
Mhm.
We put water in it. We prefer rainwater. We don't use tap water. We prefer rainwater. We put it in the bucket. We add the sugar to it, and then we add yeast.
Mhm.
We put ginger
Mom,
in it. Some fruit, huh?
I was wondering. You said you add yeast. Is it like dry yeast you add to the bucket?
Yes, it could be dry yeast, but here's the thing, it is not all fruit that require yeast. Some fruit will actually ferment on their own really quick. They don't even need yeast.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we make pineapple wine, we don't use yeast at all.
Okay.
Mangoes, because it's not necessary. So the fruit that has a high acidic value doesn't require yeast because it ferments so quickly. But the key to that is the sugar, and we use natural. We either use the cane juice because we grow cane on the farm, so we squeeze the juice and we add the cane juice to the fruit water, or yeah, because it helps it ferment. Or we use brown sugar, just cane sugar, the raw cane brown sugar, and we add that to the fruit, and then we mix it really well and we seal it. It depends on what the fruit is. Some fruit we add ginger to it too, because ginger also helps it to ferment, and it can give the product of the fruit, a really good flavor. So it's warm, it's spicy, but when you put it in the refrigerator, it's like almost like a champagne finish, but with a spice. It's just weird how it comes out, and it's really, really good. So here's the key though. When you're doing the wine, you really have to keep adding sugar over the lifetime of the wine. It depends on what the fruit is, and you have to what's the word I'm saying, Nisani? You have to like take off the pressure of the air, the cap. You have to depressurize it. So you have to open the containers at
Oh,
specific intervals to take off the pressure, and then you add more sugar, you seep it up again, and you leave it in a warm place without no sunlight.
oh,
And it's much better when you do it in the barrels that are made, like the cedar barrels that are made from wood, because it does infuse the wine with an additional particular flavor, and it
flavor.
gives it a crispness. So there's an entire process. It's really great though.
Mm.
But then it doesn't sound like something I'm gonna try because I can't get the barrel. Where am I gonna get that from? I think
But
I
you
can
don't
get
have to
everything
use the
else.
barrel. No, Miss Sally, you don't have to use the barrel. You can use a bucket that can seal,
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Yes.
even a
I
glass
want it. I
container.
want
But
it. Why?
yeah, you can either use the glass container and you put it someplace like under a sink, someplace where it's dark and it's cool. But it
Wow.
depends on what the fruit is. You do have to open the cover because it can blow up the whole container. We blew up an entire bucket one time because I didn't know I was supposed to open it and bleed off the extra gases, and it just blew up. And so we make vinegar from some of it too. Some of the wine, when we start with the wine, if we don't like how the flavor is going, we stop adding sugar to it and we just let it ferment, and it turns into vinegar. So we make natural fruit vinegar as well. Once we clear it off, um can somebody please hit the mute button when we're not speaking, because there's reverb? Oh, thank you,
Yes.
Miss
I've
Sally.
just done that. Yeah.
Yes. So if we don't like the way the wine is going, after a while we'll taste it to see how it's coming. If we don't like it, we leave it to turn it into vinegar. But here's what we do with the vinegar as well. We actually add the herbs, because we grow herbs on the farm as well. Like basil, rosemary. We add that to the vinegar to make it a flavored vinegar. So I just thought I'd add that.
What you're actually
Go
educating me is sounds like Belize is extremely fertile and you literally grow everything. What don't you grow? What don't you have?
Well, there's a lot of things we can't grow because there's some things that won't grow in Belize. Because remember, Belize is relatively flat. We have some mountains, but we don't even call those mountains compared to what you have in Kenya, for instance, compared to what you would
Mm,
have in maybe Tanzania. It's a
yeah.
subtropical terrain, so there are things that'll grow, but anything that needs like coolness, like some types of lettuce, won't grow here because the weather's too hot and humid. There's some fruits, there's some food that
Apple,
can't.
berries.
Yeah, apples, right. Berries, a lot of berries like high altitude because it likes coolness. Like teas, like green teas, like the teas that you grow in Kenya,
Uh-huh.
those wouldn't grow in Belize very well.
But I think like fruit wise, you grow like literally everything.
We have a lot. We have a
Wow.
lot. And a lot of the fruits that are found in Belize is also found in Asia, in Southeast Asia.
That is true.
Mm.
So
Keturah,
when
Mommy has not been inviting me, but now that we know each other, I'm coming to the Liz. Mommy, sorry. And I see we have Talaja with us. Talaja, would you like to say hello?
hey Talia,
Hi,
is she
Talia.
not
Talia,
speaking? You know
I'm
she doesn't
sorry.
like being put on the spot, Miss Sally, because you know she gets nervous like me when she's speaking to people. Hey TT, and she's a cook, so I would love to have her
Okay. No,
say something. What is she saying? I can't see it, Miss Sally. I would love to have her speak
she
about what
hasn't
they
said
prepare for.
anything.
I would love to hear what they prepare for Christmas because she's a cook. She loves to cook. But Chiesa said favorite fruits from Zim in the season for me: boiled sweet potatoes, pumpkin leaves made with either peanut butter or onions and tomatoes, with salsa made from ground millet and sorghum, all sorts of meat, chicken, pork ribs, goat, beef, with so many different side dishes. Many British influence too. What is this now? Trifle. Wow, amazing. I didn't even know you could eat pumpkin leaves. Are you serious? Like that's a thing?
Yes. Yes, we actually,
I
I
didn't
think
know
we eat
that.
leaves we eat leaves for everything that we grow, except I don't think I've seen maize leaves eaten anywhere. But beans leaves, it's a delicacy. Beans leaves are so delicious.
Wow.
Wow. Probably
I'm
Oh, they
blown
are so
away.
delicious.
wow.
They
Oh,
are
Miss
so
Sally,
delicious.
we have to come to Africa. We've got to come so we can. You know, one of the things that is missing in Belizean diet is green leafy vegetables. This would be a
Mm,
great way for us to offer new recipes to our people here. One of the reasons we have so much diabetes and hypertension and other diseases is because Belize culture is a lot of starch. There's a lot of starch in our diet,
mm.
in the diet of the people,
Now,
and that becomes a problem with diabetes. Go ahead.
you see, in our food, like let's say the village life, there's no
Yes.
complete meal without greens.
Yes.
It's
Oh
not a
my
meal
God.
without vegetables.
I
This
need to
and
come.
also vegetables, it's not even so much of the nutrition value, but also the availability. It's what you have in your kitchen garden. They're always there.
Right.
There's always something green. From spinach and rape, those are new foods, of course, but of course, new. I mean, like I found them there, but I know traditionally that's not what we had. Traditionally, I think we had pumpkin leaves were very popular, still very, very popular. And then, of course, we have like literally everything, including arrowroots leaves. We eat them.
Miss
Sweet
Sally,
potatoes.
can we please, anyone, you, please put up the recipes for the greens, like all of the leaf stuff. Dr. Ayo, hi. We need to connect. We need to be able to, right here on the farm, we grow all this stuff. We just throw the leaves away. So please give us the recipe. Let us begin to introduce it to our people, to our community, so that they can become healthier. This is the kind of thing that we love. Please, please give us the recipe. I want to
And
try it. We grow big
especially
pumpkins on
Chisa.
the farm.
Chisa, you need to join us because Chisa, being from Zim, we have some dishes that are very common in Southern Africa. They're not just common in Eastern Africa. So I don't know if Chisa, you call it moroho. It's dried leaves of beans. It is so delicious. So, because you see, I coming from Kenya, we live in the tropics. We don't have winter. It never gets very hot. So we farm like all seasons. So there's no
Right.
specific season that you find we have greens, because I mean, it rains as well. There's a lot of rainfall. So greens just grow. So in Southern Africa, they have their own traditional ways of making sure the rainy season they have farmed and they preserve food. So we have so many traditional ways of preserving food without the use of refrigerators. So they have these beans that I love so much. These leaves, they call them moroho, but it's beans leaves that they dry and crush, and then
Wow.
they will Serve them and mix with peanut butter. It is the most delicious thing you can eat, or with cream. Shiza, share the
In-
recipe.
Oh,
Interesting.
wow.
Yes, please, please do. We want to know. Tessa says, yes, my mother always grows pumpkin every year. So the rainy season, they explode in growth. All cover their garden. Always my favorite vegetable, especially how my mother makes them. I would fill half my plate with salsa, even without meat, and be very happy. Hello. I love anything green, anything with salsa. You don't need any meat for that. We
Yeah, but
need the
do
recipe, cheers. Go ahead. Go ahead,
Uh,
Katura.
but
hello,
do they
hello.
Yes,
Oh,
go
that's
ahead.
Tulia.
but
I,
but do they
yeah.
use sorry, Miss Sally, did you wanted to say something? I'm sorry.
No,
No,
no, no.
that
I'm
was
just saying Miss Paula
me.
can continue.
I'm sorry. I'm
Mm.
sorry, guys.
It's,
This system
please
is
go
a new
ahead.
system, so I'm learning. It says that I'm only being heard by the host. That I'm not being heard by everyone because I'm not on stage. And I just figured out how to turn my mic on. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm here.
Thank you,
Hi,
Talia.
Talia.
Go ahead and tell us what you're planning on cooking for the holiday and what's your favorite foods, Talia. You have the floor. We can hear you.
What am I cooking for the holiday? I don't know. We haven't thought about it. I know we just had a seafood. It was like a seafood gumbo with no chicken or beef, just crab, scallops, salmon, different squashes, and it was delicious. My daughter made that. For the
So,
holidays, I haven't thought about it yet. I've been thinking what I want, but we might do a half vegan and half meat Christmas.
well, it's interesting. The reason I wanted you to speak is because, A, I know you love to cook, but you're very interesting because your mother is African American, but your father was Belizean. So you are at a blend of different cultures. And from the outside looking in, it seems like African culture is alive and well in people in the diaspora. So it shows up in different ways. So that's why I was asking, what were you going to cook for the holiday season? Because I'm very curious about how you mix those up. Go ahead.
Well, for me, because my I was raised with my grandmother, who is born in Tela, Honduras. My father is also Belizean, so I raised in the house with my grandmother, who has the culture, she cooks some American food, but my family, they always tell me, Mom, you stew everything. Everything you want to stew, stew, stew. So I I do a lot of, they like fried chicken, stuff like that. I like some of it, but I'm not really into pizzas and all this other things. I prefer stewed meats, a lot of vegetables. I heard you speaking about greens. I also heard you speaking about wine. My father used to make a lot of wine. We had a lot of fruit trees in our yard in California, and he made a lot of wines. I hear you speaking about greens. I make a lot of greens. I love callaloo, uh, collards, kale. I love kale greens. Um, I've eaten more kale and other greens than collards since I've been older and been able to cook for myself, I guess. Because when I was younger, my grandmother loved a lot of collard greens and anything green, like Paula was saying, that, I just love vegetables. So anything green, I eat it all. I don't know if you guys are familiar with rutabaker. Are you familiar with rutabaker, Paula?
I am. I've never eaten it. I used to think it was weird, so I never ate it, but I'm familiar with it. Why
I'm
do
Yeah,
you
not.
ask?
Well, because my uncle and myself, we were speaking about it the other day, and it is so rich in vitamins and iron, and oh my gosh, it's rich in everything. But the taste is definitely an acquired taste. You have to, just like bitter melon, those are, they call it Karila, I believe. Um, in some countries, my stepmother used to eat that a lot. She was born in Guyana and she was raised in youth in the UK. And she just passed away not long ago, last November. But yeah,
This is amazing. The thing that is really, Dr. Ao just said that he loved, I think he said his favorite was bitter leaf. Now, the idea in my mind, my Western thinking, I'm thinking bitter leaf and eating doesn't go together. So I would love to taste what that tastes like. Like, this whole pumpkin leaf thing, my daughter said it to me that pumpkin leaf we could eat it, but in my mind I was thinking I don't understand it. The pumpkin's good. Why do we need the leaf? I mean, I didn't, that's my ignorance, and I'm being honest. And now that I'm hearing in Africa all these leaves are being eaten, I love green leafy stuff. So I wanna try. I wanna know. I wanna taste it. Miss Sally, you gotta come here
You
and
know,
cook
Miss
for us.
Paula, I'm telling you, the minute you eat pumpkin leaf, you'll never want to try any other greens.
pumpkin leaf.
It
Really?
is so delicious.
Yes.
Where do you
Yes.
get that at?
Please,
Pumpkin leaf.
Pumpkin
you
tree.
know, there's a little bit of skill.
At
So
a
you can
pumpkin
actually,
orchard.
I'm sorry.
no, I mean,
Sorry.
it's just from pumpkin. So your pumpkin is still growing and giving you the fruit. Meanwhile, you're still plucking and eating the leaves.
Mm-mm.
Because I don't know if it grows like it does here. Our pumpkins grow wild. Like it can fill up in an entire farm. It
Right,
just
but
grows and grows.
imagine. But Miss Sally, imagine, like in Belize, we grow pumpkin. We're wasting the most. I'm thinking the most important part of the entire stuff is the leaf. So you hear Talia saying, she can't eat pumpkin leaf. How do you know? You've never tasted it.
No, no,
Like I
no. I'm not
can.
saying no, no, no. I'm not saying I can't. I'm saying I don't know where to, when we're dealing with markets, because I don't have a farm. So
Okay,
I'm
or a
going to the
yard.
store. Right.
Okay.
So in the store, they give you a box of pumpkins. They don't give you the leaf. So therefore, it goes back to speaking about paradigms and speaking about, what it is that you're, uh accustomed to and what you know, because there was a story with I think it was Bob Proctor was talking about that. He was speaking about that his mother, they would always eat the turnip, like one part of it they would throw away for the animals and the other part they would eat. But his wife did the reverse. His wife would throw away, I guess, the leafy part. They would and eat the other part. So the story went that they were making, I think it was sweet potatoes or something, and they would cut the ends off and put it in the thing. So every time they would come, everybody would cut the ends off. So they said, "Why are we cutting the ends off of the potato?" And the lady says, "I don't know, because this is what Granny did." And she says, "Okay." So when Granny came, they asked the mother, "Well, Granny, why did we cut the ends off of the potato of the yams when you cook it?" And she said, "I don't know. That's what my mom did." So she asked her mom, and her mom said, "Why you cut the ends off the potatoes when you cook it? Because that's the way you cook." And the mom said, "Because I couldn't find a pot big enough to put it in, so I had to cut the ends off to make it fit."
So we should question
Okay, so
some traditions. We really
you know,
ought to question some traditions, but I tell you, this is just so awesome. I am learning so much. So Chiesa said there is a root called imhoa. Am I pronouncing it right? Wild leafy herbs called imhoa. A little bitter, but so nutritious and so recommended. Recommended even by doctors. Never liked it as children, but as an adult, I love it with my peanut butter and chilies too. Amazing. Here's the thing, right? This is the only issue I'm going to have. I always hear Africans cook a lot of stuff with peanut oil or peanut butter. I hate peanut butter. I love peanuts, but I don't like peanut butter. But a friend of mine told me it's not what you think it is. You're thinking of Jiffy in the bottle. You have to think peanut butter that's seasoned with spices is a different flavor. I've never tasted it, but I always, when I hear peanut butter, I'm like, oh, peanut butter, yuck. But I'm excited. I'd be willing to try because I'm excited to see what it tastes like. I'm told it's so good. They make stuff with so much stuff with peanut butter. And I think, oh, God. So, Miss Sally, tell me about the peanut butter and how you mix it. Thank you, Dr. Ayo.
You know the person we need to get into the room, Dr. Ayo,
Dr. Ayo.
because
Yes,
if they're
please.
a thousand and one, they have 1,001 delicacies, recipes. Please, Dr. Ayo, no offense, but I think in Nigeria, even monkeys are a delicacy. So I was so looking forward to having Dr. Ayo because they also have the jollof rice, they also have the pepper soup, they have so many dishes that have actually gone international.
Jollof rice.
This
I
sounds like
love
we should put
jollof
a whole
rice.
international restaurant together and,
and
you
a
know,
recipe book.
yes, a recipe book, um, and also a recipe video because you can get a book, and I get it. I read recipes all the time, but it would be nice too when I'm watching them prepare it or watching the actual video of it being made helps you a lot too when you're cooking.
Well, we would love to share that on the Happiness Tribe. One of the things here, that's why we're a tribe, right? We're connected. So sharing recipes and for different things, jams, jellies, preserves, wines, Miss Sally, we don't have a problem with that. I think that's an excellent idea. And I think we could reach out to everyone, Dr. Ayo, everyone to kind of contribute to it so that we could do, international African fare from around the world. I think it would be great because jollof rice. First time I heard of jollof rice, I must have been in my teens, and I was in Los Angeles, and I don't remember who it was or where it was or what happened, but someone had said, "Oh, we're having jollof rice," and I thought, "What is that?" I'd never heard of it. In Belize, we eat a lot of rice. I think African people eat a lot of rice. And probably in the Caribbean, we probably eat more rice than lots of other things. But I heard of jollof rice. So when I first tasted jollof rice, I think it was in school actually. We had some kind of potluck and someone brought jollof rice, if I can remember correctly. I almost lost my mind, Miss Sally. When I tasted the rice with the vegetables and the stuff in it, I lost my mind. It's all I ate. I never touched any meat, nothing else. I must have ate the whole pan of rice they brought. It was so good. And I've been hooked ever since. And I've been begging someone to teach me how to make jollof rice. And I think the Nigerians want to keep it to themselves because they don't want to tell me what they actually put in there to make it taste like that. So I think I'm going to
But
go to Ghana. Selassie. Go ahead.
yes, because even in Ghana they do it. But you know what? I think it's just that Nigerians, of course, being the most popular in Africa, so they can amplify something and make it very, very popular. I was so fascinated and so looking forward to tasting. It is that my first experience with Nigerian dishes was quite horrific. So I just freaked out, which was interesting. I was on a trip in China and I kept on looking for any cuisine that's not Chinese. So I met some Nigerians who actually invited me to a Nigerian restaurant. And that was in early 2000, like some years back. I mean, like more than 10 years ago. So I get into this restaurant and there's a buffet, but people are mixing everything because Nigerian dishes, you can find a dish which has fish in it, the same pot. There's fish, there's goat head, there are intestines. No, Dr. Ayo, you need to come. So I was horrified. Like, how do I mix eating fish at the same time with goat head? These are all things we eat, but separately. I mean, really, especially fish. So I just got so petrified and I went like, no, thank you. I am so looking forward to African dishes, but this one I can't. So until some 4 years ago, when we were doing the AU project, Miss Paula, you remember? So we hired some guys from Sierra Leone, some students that were here. So they came as interns and they were
Yes.
extremely good. So they actually introduced me to a lot of, because that part of the world, obviously Nigeria dominates West Africa, but everybody else has been influenced by Nigerian dishes. So one of them, the auntie had a restaurant that used to, a Nigerian, that is West African food restaurant that was making jollof rice. So he brings the rice and I look at it and I go like, this is a common dish in my place. It's just a
Right.
name.
Right.
It's just a name. Because what we do with ours, it's literally rice fried with vegetables and meat, chicken, you can put anything, but you put it all in the same pot. You can even put beans.
Right. But not
But
the
then we have that
Nigerians.
and we have pilau.
Okay. So Miss Sally,
Nigerians,
what was go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, it's the same dish with our dish. It's just that us, we don't call it jollof rice. So it's just rice mixed with veggies. But then we also have pilau, which I hope you know pilau. It's very, very popular with Asians.
I was just gonna
I
ask
think
you about
when,
pilau because I have a friend from Kenya and they make a lot of pilau and that's my
Mhm.
favorite thing to eat from them.
It's totally, that's actually, that's, there has to be pilau on Christmas Day.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Wow.
pilau has to be there. So Miss Paula, you can read that from Chiesa.
Before you
Natural.
read before
Yeah.
you read it, if I would can interject, I did have a friend. I had several friends from Africa. One of them, he was from Nigeria. His name was Peace, and then I had another friend from Ghana, and they taught me to make the meal. That I'm not sure if it was what you were speaking about, but I used to put beef, chicken,
Mm-hmm.
um, fish.
Mm-hmm.
It was dried shrimp, uh, the salt fish in one pot and
That's
make it
true.
like a soup. And then I would get cassava flour and I would make fufu.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
I'm
Yeah, and
scared.
that was a great. I love the dish myself. It was great. Um my grandmother used to tell me, "Oh, Lord, don't cook that in here. I don't like that smell." And I'd be like, "Listen, Mom, I got it." I said you should taste it. No, 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 I don't want to taste that. But it was delicious, okay?
But see, this is the thing, right? When we're looking at other people's food and other cultures, we are influenced by our perception of things in so many different ways. And I think we miss out on a lot. Like, I'm a foodie, but I don't like everything. So when I hear saltfish with goat head and meat and some
Mm-mm,
I'm
mm-mm.
I'm mortified. I'm freaking out about that. But I'm still open enough to say, okay, I'd be willing to try it. So let's hear what Sister Chiesa says about natural peanut butter. Um,
Mm.
but I'm willing to try. She says natural peanut butter is so different from store bought peanut butter. My mother would have us, what is this? I can't see good, Lord. We would have us girls grind the peanuts that she bought from rural sources, I guess from the farmers. We would roast them with a little salt, pour them into what's a duri? Like a container? Like a
It said
mata? Like
she said pound them into a
pound.
dough.
Okay, into a dory. Girl, I can't see these glasses. Which is a
Which is
wooden
a wooden
standing container. Go ahead, Talia. You can read it. You can see it
okay.
better than I can.
Which is a wooden standing container and uses wooden uh
Pulp.
poles to rhythmically
Mm-hmm.
To
Pound them
rhythmically
into a
pound
pulp.
them into a pulp. I got
So
that.
wait.
Whiskey. Hmm.
I need you to stop there. So rhythmically, what I'm hearing now is we're all pounding like it's a rhythm, right? Is that what that means? Is
Uh-huh.
it music?
It's,
What?
yes, yes, it's a dance. Keep reading.
Really? Oh my God. While singing songs and then make into a smooth paste on a slab of cement using a smooth pumice, pumice stone,
Oh, wow.
kukuya. What's a kukuya? Is that a pumice stone? Miss Paula,
Cuckoo,
that type of peanut butter will definitely be a taste bud experience. I'm coming, Cheers. I'm on my way. I am on my way. Get the peanuts. I want to be there.
it's so funny. It's so funny that you guys are speaking about peanut butter right now
Ah,
because I love peanut butter and I love peanuts. And I buy them by the bag. Me and my grandson, we sit and we have games where we crack them in the bag, and we drop some. And when we're done, we go through the bag and we find the ones that we dropped and we eat them. But when I buy peanut butter in the store, I hear him speaking about it. I mainly get peanut butter that's just peanuts. The ingredients is peanuts. If you get peanut butter that has
oh.
all that other stuff, you don't have peanut butter.
Well,
Peanut
you
butter should
know,
only have peanuts.
But maybe that's the reason why I don't like peanut butter. You know, Talia, from a child, you couldn't put. Listen, I love peanuts. I
Mm-mm.
can eat peanuts all day. But if you put peanut on my plate, we're gonna fight. Peanut butter.
Hmm.
It's gonna be a
Hmm.
fight. I couldn't stand peanut butter. But
My granddaughter doesn't either.
it's the same way I love anything made from cassava. We make a cassava pudding, a cassava cake that
Me
we make
too.
here in Belize as part
Mm.
of the holiday seasoning. But I don't eat cassava. I eat cassava bread. I eat the cassava cake. But if you give me just a piece of cassava boil, we're gonna fight. I don't want that on my plate. So
Oh
I don't.
wow.
It's weird. Yeah, I have some issues. It's real weird. And but we do it. Cause we make the cassava here. We boil the cassava. We kind of pickle it in a
Mhm.
seasoning pot when we boil it, and then we use it as part of the side dish for the meat with the gravy. So, but
You
there's this
pickle
whole
it?
you sort of boil it with seasonings and spices. You actually boil the cassava with seasonings and spices, and we add salt in it. We add a variety of things in there so that when you get the cassava, it's real tasty. The problem is, I don't like cassava. I don't care what you do with that unless you're making it into a pudding, a cake, a bread. I don't eat it. So I'm excited to see how it is being prepared on the continent in different countries, and I'm really excited to try it. It's gonna sound crazy, but I want to try it and see so I can get over my madness because cassava is good for a lot of things.
But
Go ahead.
Do
I'm
you
mommy,
sorry.
make do you make flour, Paula?
Yes, I do, but I won't eat it
Oh
from the
wow, you
cassava.
won't. Oh wow, you don't even
but
like it
mom,
in the flour. Wow.
yeah,
No, go ahead, Ketura.
but mommy, that pudding that you bought on the bus, wasn't that made from cassava? You love that.
It is. I love the pudding, but that's pudding. It's sweet. I'll eat it
Mm-mm.
all day.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I love the cassava pudding, but I don't eat plain cassava. I can't stand it. So I'm excited to see though when we go to the continent, because I'm a foodie. I like to go to places and taste the food.
Me
So I'm
too.
excited to see if it's going to be different, if my attitude or my palate is going to be enhanced. I don't know, Chiesa, Dr. Ao, tell me. I don't know. Selassie said yes. It is common here, putting fish and meat in
Where's
a
Nina?
soup. I see that. Talia, please mute. I see that. I see that they put fish and meat together. And I can't, for the life of me, I don't, my mind can't comprehend it. I have to taste it so you can convince me because I can't relate to it. Where I come
Okay.
from, we generally don't
Tell me,
mix them. If it's fish, it's fish. Go ahead, Miss Sally.
tell me about this. How about chicken intestines, goat intestines, cow intestines? Do you guys eat that?
No, no. Look at Ketura's face. No.
You must eat that in the continent. That's the most delicious thing. Cheers, I tell
Really?
them.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
oh yes.
I can't
Oh
imagine it, Miss
yes. It
Sally.
is so delicious. Okay. My tribe, because we grow a lot of food, so we're a little bit a bit picky. So we
Right.
don't eat chicken intestines, but it's a delicacy even here in Botswana. It's a delicacy like literally everywhere else, but intestines for the goat, I'll be right there, because popularly, as you know it, men take that chore of slaughtering the goat. But my
Okay.
love for meat, they can kick me out of the slaughter place, because I mean we slaughter in the house. That's part of the celebration. So I might be. We have the special parts of chicken and goat. They always served to men. So they slaughter and then they serve themselves the best. So women were left to eat like the other parts. So for me, I don't buy that. I love ribs, so I have to eat the good ribs. I have to be right
Right.
there when they're slaughtering, and I have to eat the intestines, and then there's a sausage we make using blood and intestines and so many other internal organs and kidney, liver, and mix it there with blood. It is the most delicious thing.
Well,
She's a please, you need to come here.
go ahead, Keturah. Go ahead, because I know where you're going with this. Well, here in in
For
Belize, there
me, I
is
just wanted to say, if I may, I can eat meat,
Yes, please.
but I don't want to see anyone slaughter or hurt an animal in front of me. It has to already be dead and cleaned up and on the table for me. I don't want to sit there and see no one kill an animal. I'm gonna be so sad. And then to eat the intestine, I'm sorry, and I'm not judging. I know it's probably delicious, but it's not for me.
this is listen. So let me tell you. So I've got to tell you a little quick story. The first time I heard this, your sister, my daughter, my oldest daughter, Nikiba Nisani said to me, "Mom, I got some sausage that I want to bring so I can make it for you. You're gonna love it." So you know my first question is, what do you mean? What kind of sausage are you talking about? She says it's blood sausage. To your point, Miss Sally, I looked at her. I said, "What? No, I'm not interested." She said, "No." She said, "You have an idea, but you don't really know." And it's the same thing, Miss Sally. I think they use the organs of the animal with the blood to make this sausage, and they use the intestines as the lining for the sausage to put the sausage in.
Yes,
But they season it. They
yes,
use a particular seasoning in it. So, I'm just fresh from America. I'm from the north, and that's just unheard of. I don't want any. So she made it anyway. But she didn't make it the time she told me she was going to make it. She brought it later on and she cooked it, and she did like a little stir fry sauce. She didn't tell me about it. That little rat didn't tell me about it. So she came and she gave it to me with steamed rice made with coconut milk on the side with vegetables, with raw vegetables. I ate 2.5 plates of it, Miss Sally. And she waited till I was done, drank my juice, and was laying down like a fat rat. And then she said, "Mom." I said, "What, honey?" She said, "Did you enjoy the food?" I said, "Oh, it was delicious." She said, "Do you know what you were eating?" I said, "Yeah, sausage and rice and vegetables." And it was good. "And is there any more?" She said, "It wasn't any kind of sausage. It was made from blood." I was like, "What?" She said, "Oh, it won't come up. It's settled. You're good." It was really, really good. So you can hear something
so
and you
good.
have a particular perception of what it is, but if you something is set in front of you and it looks good and you taste it and it's good, you're not really concerned about the rest of that. See, so it's a mind thing. So I'm saying that
True.
to
And
say,
guess what?
uh-huh.
No, the
Do you know
reason
when
I'm
the internet
taking the sorry, Miss
started?
Sally, go ahead. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say something, but you can say what you're saying, Miss Sally. I'm
No, it's
sorry.
okay. Just say it, Ketura. Come on, go
Um,
ahead.
I hear what you're saying, Mom, but I remember when I first moved to Norway, they were preparing whale meat, like whale, like in
Like
the
big
sea.
whale?
Wow.
I don't know what
Okay.
kind of whale it was, but it was whale meat. It's a good delicacy in Norway. But I was like, nope. Whales are cute, they're intelligent, and why would I eat whale meat? And you should see how it looks, right, Mom?
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same thing that Nix did to you. They did to me. They prepared it and they gave it to me. I thought it was beef. I thought it was beef, but when I tasted it, it tasted like fish. I was like, this is a strange taste, this is not beef. So then I and then I asked the person that prepared it, I was like, what is this? They're like whale meat. I was like, oh no, I pushed the whole plate. But it wasn't how it looked. It was
Taste.
how it
Hmm.
tasted. I didn't like it. The consist the taste of
The
it, the feel of
texture.
it, the texture of it. Thank you,
Yes.
Mom. And on top of that, it was a whale. Whales are cute and they're smart.
Yeah.
Well,
I would be sad to
Ketura.
eat a whale.
Go ahead, Miss Sally.
What do you think? I'd be sad to eat a whale. And where do they get so many whales to eat? I thought those are
They
endangered
hunt
species
them.
so far.
No, they hunt them in Norway, apparently. So do the Japanese. The Chinese love whale meat too.
I thought
That's
they're
why they
endangered
were out.
species. I didn't.
At some point, that's why they made them an endangered species. They were outlawing whale hunting, whale fishing, because they were eating them out of existence. They were eating them out of existence. I get it. I'm not opposed to stuff. I don't know. It's just like how in China they eat dog meat. I cannot imagine it. Like I can't imagine it. But
In
maybe,
Africa as well. In Africa
yeah,
as well. They
yeah,
eat
but
dog meat.
maybe I get it. But maybe if
No.
you season it good and don't tell me what it is, I may get down with it. I don't know.
And you know, it's
The, you know,
so funny. It's sorry if I can interject about the dog meat because I actually did a big project on that in school, in reference to China. And I just there's a group on Instagram with a young man. It's called Dog Eater, something like that. What he does is he goes around to different countries in Africa and he buys the animals that are getting eaten and he brings them back and gives them a better life. And the way that
Bring them back to where?
to America, he brings them from Africa. He takes them and he gives them a better life. I mean, literally, the process for them to kill an animal. This is the concept. They believe that it's sad, but they believe that the more torture that the animal endures and the more that it goes through before the killing process makes the meat better. I don't
I
understand that,
can't
but
stop. I can't.
I'm just saying, and they have them tied up like human beings from the back of
Listen.
them.
Hey, Talia, I
Oh,
can't
okay,
stop.
okay,
Please,
all
I
right,
can't.
all right,
Hey,
all right.
I
No problem,
can't. But there
no
are some
problem.
issues that I have in terms of that as well, because who
Okay.
gets to determine what animal is suffering? I have an issue with that. Anything that's on the planet is for man's consumption, and I don't necessarily agree with all of the things that people eat, but that's a conversation for a different time, because again, that's a cultural perspective. So a LinkedIn user said there are Mexican soups with fish and meat as well. I have to get with this. This seems like this is a global thing. I may need to try it, but it just seemed like the rank of the fish with the meat just don't seem to go together in my mind. I don't get it.
Mom, you don't taste it because my girlfriend from Gambia that lives
Mhm.
in Norway, she prepared these dishes as well. And I had that same, like, when I first heard about it, I was like, I'm not sure about that. But she made it. It was amazing. It really was. Some
Yeah,
kind of
I
soup
believe it.
it's called. Is it egose? Is it egose?
A
It
goosey,
is.
a goosey.
Yes.
A goosey
Egose?
Goosey
soup.
soup. Yes.
Can
Yes.
somebody help me out with that? It was so good.
Yes, you need to get the recipe
I
so
love
you
the
can
recipe
make it.
myself. Yes.
You've had it too, Talia?
Dr. Ayo,
Yes.
when you
Go
Giazzi
ahead, Miss
loves it.
Sally.
He orders it all the time.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, Miss Sally. Thank you, Talia.
now, I'm just telling Dr. Ayo he has a lot of work to do. And Lassie, we need those recipes. But
Yes.
it's when it comes to the cultural perspectives and how people view food and what they eat, I think it's something that you just learn to it's sort of I'm very adventurous with food, and as I travel, especially within the continent,
Mhm.
because I mean here we are in Africa, but we're totally extremely different. We have some dishes that this country or this tribe eats that this tribe is not even aware of or doesn't eat, and then of course we
Right.
have different food that grows in different places. So, like in Botswana, we have mopani worms. It's a delicacy. It is actually right now. I think we're exporting it, and it's a worm. It's sort of a caterpillar, and you'll get
Okay.
it in five-star hotels being served. We have
Wow.
siswa, which is pounded meat, and I liked what Shiza was talking about. The traditional, the cultural way of how particular specific food is prepared, and some of the food we have, it also has there's a season, there's a celebration, there's some occasions specifically that that food is served.
Okay.
So that's where you find that when you talk about like a lot of us, I think in Africa we're Christians, maybe 70%, I don't know. But you find like within the Christians communities, we have food that is not eaten over Easter. There's no meat as
Yes,
we
it's mostly
celebrate
fish.
the death of Christ. Yes, we celebrate the death of Christ. So you find now with festive seasons like Christmas, it's sort of we're feasting, we're celebrating the birth of Christ. And that's when we go all out and try different dishes. But then we're coming up with a lot of gourmet festivals where it's purely a food festival. Chefs come, we have chefs competitions. People learn different dishes. I
Yes.
can see, I can see Ketura is coming to Africa. Come, I'll share
We
with
are.
you some. It's
I'm
quite
on my
nice because then
way, Miss Sally, because sorry, Miss Sally.
no, you're
She
most
said
welcome.
she's on
Finish.
her way. Hmm.
And it's really nice. I hope you guys know this pumpkin soon soup. We are great even in
Yes.
my household with pumpkin soup, especially in winter.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Dr. Ayo, my daughter made some pumpkin soup for me. Oh my gosh. Yes, I'm in. I'm in with the pumpkin soup. Smoked fish and meat is great. I don't know about the smoked meat. I haven't really tasted really good smoked meat. They got some jerky stuff that's okay, but smoked fish I love. I like smoked fish. So this is going to be really interesting. I know Dr. Ayo loves to cook. He needs to come up here and tell us some of his recipes. But here's the thing that I want to ask about, Miss Sally. I want to ask about pastries, right?
Mhm.
Because in the holiday seasons and celebrations, they're usually pastries. So, what type of pastries? What is your favorite pastry for the holiday season, or what type of pastries, cultural pastries, that you love? Tell us about it, please.
You know what is so interesting? We have what in East Africa we popularly call mandazi. As I
Mandazi.
travel through the mandazi, as I travel through the continent, every country I go to, they have their version of mandazi. This is
Okay.
so popular. It is like that thing that every day somebody eats at least once in a day. So our mandazi, the Swahili way, because we have a lot of the Arab influence within our dishes. It's literally dough, which we do it in different ways. I like doing
Mhm.
it with hot water and hot and milk. I put some milk, I put some margarine. You don't really have to do that. I put sugar and then I'll put cinnamon. And
Okay.
then I'll put baking powder and I'll roll it and leave it to settle for like an hour. Then I'll come back, roll it into small little pieces like a cake, and I put it in hot cooking oil, which that is my Kenyan or East African popular way of doing it. So Botswana have their way of doing something similar, which they
Mm-hmm.
call fat cake. They call it fat cake. South Africa, Chiesa, you should tell us if you guys do it the same way in Zim. But it's quite a delicacy, and it's the most. It's the thing is, if you don't do it very nicely, it's gonna be full of oil. So it's not a very
Okay.
healthy thing. But if you're very smart at doing it, you can do it and get away with having it too oily.
So is it
But it
somewhat like a donut, Miss Sally? Is it like a donut finish? You boil
yes,
it?
yes,
Okay.
yes. It's a donut, but I deep fry it.
Oh, you deep fry it.
Yeah, you deep fry it.
But that's
I've
how they do it
tasted
here.
mandosa before.
Have you?
Yeah, and Janet, they're from
Okay.
Kenya.
Yeah, Janet is from Kenya.
Oh,
You're right.
nice. Then
I
you know my
forgot. Her
daddy.
her very good friend is from Kenya. She's got friends from different parts of the world. Yeah, that's amazing. I want to try some of the pastries. Like I want to if we have the ingredients here, I'd like to be able to try some of the pastries. So to the listening audience, wherever you are in the world, whatever pastries, your local traditional pastries, put up upload your recipe. Let us explore each other's fares, each other's traditional meals, so that we can just share more and we can learn and grow in terms of food. It's really this tribe is really a global movement to be able to integrate who we are because we have so much more in common than not. So Chiesa said, yes, we call them fat cooks. My
I'm sure
mother
she meant
would
fat cake.
fat cakes. My mother would add sugar
Yes.
to it. Another version can be made with mashed pumpkin added to the flour mix. Please give us the recipe. Upload the recipe. We would love to try it. We would love to try it. So we want to know about everyone's pastries, no matter where you're from. What kind of pastries do you eat in the holiday season, and how do you make it? If you feel like it, please share your recipes in our chat. Share that with us so we can share it with the rest of our audience, and we can keep this going. And I think it's an excellent idea. I think, Miss Sally, we really need to look at a cookbook, whether it's both digital, hardcover. We need a Happiness Tribe cookbook from around the world. I think it would be an excellent
We
idea.
can we can make an ebook, and everybody can put things into this ebook. And
Yes,
along
contribute.
with because it's an ebook and it's digital, I'm thinking it can be also a video as well, like videos in there with the how to video, you
Yes,
know.
that's an excellent idea because I'm excited. I am so excited. But one of the things that I'm most excited about, Miss Sally, is the green leafy component of your diets there. There's this food. I wish Sister Yodit was here because I wanted to ask her about this Ethiopian dish. I love Ethiopian food. We had an Ethiopian restaurant in Los Angeles. I used to go there all the time. I can't remember any of the names of
Hmm.
the dishes, but I know the way that they make their meats with the sauces and the bread. There's a bread that they make that's so
Yes.
spongy. It's a white bread.
It's called ninjera, the ninjera.
Ninjera.
Yeah. Yes. Something
I
like
think
that.
you're correct.
I
It's
eat
I
at
called
a
think
lot of
injera.
Ethiopian restaurants.
I love, but I'd like to go to Ethiopia and eat the food from somebody's kitchen. That's what I'd like to do. The sauces, the way they make their sauces is so rich. And the thing that surprised me was the fact that when we use the bread and the sauce, you eat it with your hand. I love eating food with my hand.
You
It's
know
just
that
a
is
different
yes,
flavor.
yes, yes, yes.
Why are
That's the
you
way we're
excited?
supposed to eat anyway. Because I get excited. You know, I get excited. I didn't know I wasn't on mute too. But yes, we eating with your hands, that's the way we're supposed to eat and
Mm.
eat together. You know, we're supposed to eat from the same pot.
No, 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 no. Okay. I don't mind eating from the same pot. But you're not gonna put your hand in my food and in my dish. You're not. We're not. I've seen in some cultures they all eat out of one bowl. I can't. We'd be fighting. We'd be
Talia,
fighting. I'm
But
that
that's
West
that's
African.
Talia.
because that's how you learn to share
You
amongst
know.
each other, and everybody doesn't have gluttonry, and you don't know how to, you share.
I get it.
Talia.
But
Yes, yes,
you eat
Yes,
Talia.
my
ma'am.
the
Talia.
chicken. If
That's
you
how
take the
food should be
Talia.
chicken wing,
shared.
No, if
The
you take that
lies
chicken
you
wing out
tell.
of the bowl, listen, if you take that chicken wing out of the bowl and that's the chicken wing I want, we gonna fight. So I need my own plate. I'm sorry. I'm not that evolved. I need my own plate. So a LinkedIn user says Jamaican potato pudding is a dish to remember known for its rich, sweet flavor and moist texture. What makes it stand out is the addition of coconut milk, yeah, 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 which enhances its creaminess and gives it that authentic island taste, often referred to as a hella top. I love it, a hella top, hella bottom, hallelujah, in the middle.
Oh wow.
I love it. Dessert. It's a true Jamaican favorite that brings comfort and joy with every bite. Thank you, user. Please give us the recipe. Can you please upload the recipe for us? We're going to collect the recipes because
You
I
know
think
what
that's going
you
to
know
be
what
so
I'm
interesting.
I'm learning? I'm learning, and I've known this for years, that we are so connected in reference to, culturally. Like, for example, um, you say Jamaican. That dish sounded like potato pun to me,
It
but
did. It
exactly.
does,
So,
Talia.
Yes.
exactly. So I say that to say that we have so many similarities and so differences.
Yeah.
Like, for example, we make panades in Belize, they make empanadas in Mexico,
In
which
Latin
is
America.
in Latin America, right? Um, and also we have escabeche, and they also have an escabeche.
Yep.
So it just depends on what part of the map you're on, because we are all connected.
Absolutely. Here's the thing I'd like to know. So, panades, what we call panades, Miss Sally, in the audience, just so you understand, is really for us, it's corn. And I think you probably can use any grain. We use the cornmeal and we make the cornmeal into a dough. And then we make a tortilla out of the corn dough, but we stuff it with meat. In some places, they include chicken. You could use fish. You can use whatever kind of, even
Wow.
vegetables. And what we do is we take it, you close it up like a hot pocket, and you drop it in hot, hot grease and you fry it. But you have a sauce on the side. So it can be an onion sauce, it can be a cabbage sauce, you can use a tomato, cucumber sauce. So you can do different things with it, usually with vegetables. So I was asking, I wonder if that's something that's probably done someplace on the African continent. I don't know, maybe North Africa, East Africa, South Africa, West Africa,
Maybe,
because I don't think it's just
maybe,
original to us. Go ahead, Miss Sally.
maybe in North Africa, but that sounds like tacos, the Mexican
It, it,
tacos.
there you go. See,
They
what
call
you
it
know about
tacos.
Mexican
Yeah.
tacos? That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying, and that may be the Latin impact or influence on how what the ultimate um food resembles once we're done with it. But I'm sure we have varieties of that. It's all African connection. Dr. Ayo say it's all African
Yeah.
connection. Absolutely. One of the things that I'm realizing, Dr. Ayo, when I'm listening to this, and Dr. Miss Sally and I speak a lot, and I have other African people on the continent that I speak with, and I realize we have so much more similarities than we do differences. You know, they say that when they robbed and kidnapped our African people and brought them to the Western Hemisphere, and then call them slaves, they say that they took away everything. I beg to differ because I see the African footprint, if I may, or handprint, if I may, in how the cultures have evolved. In Latin America, Dr. Yale said they have been adaptation over time. You're absolutely correct. Because a lot of the things that we do, I see it in our spiritual practices, and I actually see it in the
Mhm.
food, and I actually see it in the way in our family structure and family dynamics. I see the residual of those African cultures and how they manifest, probably slightly different ways. But yes, a LinkedIn user say, "Oh, here's the ingredients, y'all. We're gonna have to. Everybody downloads this. This is the ingredients for the hot the top, the bottom, the middle, the hallelujah layer.
But mommy,
Four,
wouldn't but
huh?
mom guys, wouldn't this be the recipe that you can put in the e-cooking book? One of them?
Absolutely. That's why we're asking for the recipes. And please,
Okay.
when you enter the recipe as a user, if you're on LinkedIn, give us your name so we can contact you directly so we can give you credit for the recipe. We want to say where it's from,
Yeah.
right? What
Yeah.
country and who you are. And if it's a separate culture or a separate group, let us know that as well so we can attribute each recipe to its appropriate origins, if we may. So here is the recipe ingredients: 4 cups of grated sweet potato, about 2 pounds, 2 cups of grated yellow yam, which is optional for added texture, um, 11 half cups of coconut. I don't know, is that correct? 11 half cups of coconut milk, 1/2 cup of water, 2 cup brown sugar, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1/2 cup of cornmeal, a 1/2 cup of raisins. That's interesting. 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, 1 teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, a 1/2 cup of melted butter for the topping, optional hallelujah layer. We need the hallelujah layer. 1 cup of coconut milk, a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, and 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Thank you, users, so much. We are going to download this, Miss Sally. Please, we got to copy and paste this and download it so we can put it into our database. We're going to take this a little step further because I'm excited about this opportunity. And any recipes that we have about green leafy vegetable, whatever it is, please upload that as well so we can try it. And I think we need to do a follow up to see like a taste test kind of a thing. Maybe we could upload little videos to see we tried it, we tasted it, this is what we think about it, or this is how we improved it upon the recipe. I think would be an excellent idea. So I'm going to take this recipe and I'm going to try it. To be honest with you, this recipe, we have something in Belize we call sweet potato pong. It's like a pudding. It's a pudding. It's sweet, it's
Mhm.
tasty like a pudding, and some of these recipes exactly how we use it, with the cinnamon, the vanilla, the brown sugar, the coconut cream. The only differences I think is some of the like the yellow yam, the texture of yams that you guys use, you add that a little different. But I want to try it your way so that we can try it and we can see what it is. So I think we will try that for the holiday season and see what happens. Go ahead, Miss Sally.
Yes, no, I wanted to suggest how about we do this, Miss Fa- try and see if you can try this within the week. Then you come and share with us next Sunday. And then, Dr. Ayu, we have to get you in the room next Sunday. We'll have to do a trial. I don't know if it's glitches we're having or something we're struggling with this. But I feel like in the course of the week, we encourage everyone to share their recipes. So the whole week, we just talk about, like every other day, we are sharing different cultural food you have, different recipes, different ideas. I think we're going to have the best festive season ever.
Absolutely,
And
Miss
as for
Sally.
you, Talia, we're
Go
still waiting
ahead.
for you to help us. Talia
I
still
was
is yet to give us a recipe. Uh-huh.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
I was just thinking, you're talking about an ebook, whatever, and different recipes. Um, I don't know. My head went to creating a group as well, like a group with just international recipes,
Hold
food ideas, different things like that. Maybe Facebook or something. I don't know if you want to use Facebook or
Well,
something like
we're
that.
just so you know, we're in the process now of integrating Facebook. So we're working on that. So we're going to be on most of those platforms. But I think it's an excellent idea because in
So we
families,
can
what
make
do we
a
hold
separate
on a
group
minute.
called,
Hold
sorry.
hold on a minute, Talia. One of the things I think this is important is because one of the things that people get together as a tribe, as a group, what's the first thing that we do? We eat. We get it together around food. That's
We get
always what
together
we
and bake.
do.
We get together
Is
and
it me
break bread,
frozen
Mom.
or Miss Paula?
I'm sorry, Miss Sally, what'd you say? What did you say,
I'm
Miss
not sure
Sally?
what's
I
going
didn't hear
on.
you.
I think that was Katura.
Oh, she was saying we bake bread. We get together and bake bread here. We bake bread, we bake pastries. That's what we do in the holiday season. When I was a child growing up, around this time of the year, like now, we're at the 15th of December, the women are already started preparing. Like we're bringing the stuff from the farm, the men are bringing the sweet potatoes, the cassava, the flour is being made and sifted and being prepared. The meats are already coming in, they've been slaughtered. Some of the meat is already being pickled, washed, and seasoned and is soaking so that they can slow cook it. There's something here we call pabil in Belize. And I think the origins, I don't know, I think it's both African and Mayan, to be honest with you. But what it is like you said, Miss Sally, you all say you kill a goat and then you cook the goat. Well, it's the same thing here. You could use a goat, you can use an entire pig, and some people it's an entire cow. Like they will kill it, they will prep it, they do it all by the moon. It's all spiritual. It's the way that the meat is prepared is halal for the Muslims that are here, that are in our listening audience. The meat is prepared with spiritual principles, and this is going up to the holiday season. But when they do the pabil is going to be done like the day before, like Christmas Eve or 2 days before Christmas. And what it is they dig a hole, right? They dig a hole, they season the meat. It's like almost a week process, because after they kill the meat, there's a process that they follow. Then they have to season the meat, and then they take it and they sit in seasoning in all these rubs and seasonings for a couple of days, 2-3 days. And so 2 or 3 days before the holiday season, they dig a big hole. They take the meat, they wrap the meat in leaves, like in banana leaves. It's a leaf that's similar to banana leaf here. You could use banana leaf, or you could use what we call waha leaf. It's like a wild banana kind of flavor. And they wrap the meat in there, they put it in the hole, they cover the hole, and then they make a fire, and then they put the fire coal over the hole, and they slow cook it for an entire day, for hours,
And
just
it's the
with
most
fire coal.
delicious thing ever. Like it's amazing.
You know what? I'm
And that
coming.
same meat you can use for tacos. It's so good.
Absolutely.
No, we're not debating. I'm coming to believe as for that. Because it's
Don't you,
so delicious. So
don't worry, Miss
so it's
Ali.
so it's sort of slow baking it, right?
Yes, it is. You're cooking it
It's
underground. Because you're cooking it in the ground, it's creating its own jelly, its own gravy, and they're cooking it slowly so that when you pull it out, the meat, it's like pulled meat. The meat falls right off the bone. But because it's been soaking and seasoning for days, even the bone, it's like they take out the bone
yeah.
later on. You take out the bone and then you make a soup with the cartilage, the bone, all of that. You make the soup, you dump the vegetables in there, the cocoa, the yams, all of that. So, yeah, and it's really, really good. It's delicious. So, that's another thing that we used to do in the holiday season when I was a child. We cook, my family cook whole meats, and then the women would come from different places. We had some of my aunts were already living in the United States. They'd come for the holiday season. All the women would get together, they'd be in the kitchen, and then they'd be baking pastries. The pastries would happen before the holiday season. We didn't do pumpkin pies. What we did, well, we would do lemon meringue pies. We would do cassava cakes. We would do the same, this recipe, just like this recipe. Potato pound would be it, and there'd be different varieties of cakes. The cake would be done, the black cake, it's a black rum cake. It would be done at least a week or two ahead of the holiday season, because what you have to do with the cake after you make the cake, you have to save the cake, but you have to wet it with rum. Every few days you have to pour the rum over the cake so the cake absorbs the rum. And then that's the rum cake. It's a dark cake. That it's not a chocolate cake, it's actually burnt sugar cake. That they make it, it's a burnt sugar that they use to make the cake.
The
So
Jamaican, the
I'm
Jamaican, they make the
debating.
same kinds of cake, Mom. In
I know they
Jamaica.
do. It's a Caribbean thing. Some people add fruit to it as well. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Someone else was saying something.
It
I
must be
actually
so delicious. I need that.
You got to be careful with the
I
cake, Miss
want
Sally. You
it.
can't eat too much of it because you'd be drunk.
More the reason I want it.
you
I love it. Go ahead,
Wow.
Talia. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying that it's something how all of these pastries that we speak about, I love them all. I can cook when it comes to food, meats, different soups. When it comes to cakes, pastries, I'm just like, and I love it all. And that's what I feel like my grandmother, she left me with the ability to cook anything, but when it comes to bun and all of that, I don't know what to do. And I want
Yeah,
to learn.
the baking and the pastry. So we need to take recipes as well. So anyone, if you have a really good recipe for like sweet buns, for different types of cakes, for different types of pastries, that would be awesome. We would absolutely appreciate that because we want to experiment too. And so when we get to experiment some of the stuff, we want to share our experience back with our audience, with you, so that you can see how we've received your recipe, how it went across. Oh, and if we changed the recipe a little bit and we tweaked it, we want to let you know that as well and let you know what the outcome is. So I'm a big sweet nut. I love cakes and pastries and cookies and pounds. So Dr. Ayo says there has been adaptation over time. Oh yeah. Yes, Dr. Ayo, we're sure of it. And the other thing that I want to discuss here, and I don't know if other people do this, we have something in Belize that we call, it's a punch, it's a drink, it's a beverage that's
Mm.
made from raw eggs and milk and rum and nutmeg and vanilla, and it does get you drunk too, but it's so good. It's
What,
like a
rum popo?
creamy rum popo. There you go. It's like a rum punch, but it's made with milk and egg. And so that's
Mom in the
another, that's
US,
what.
mother in the US is called eggnog. But the
Oh
version
yeah,
they yeah, the version they make in Belize, it tastes almost like close to like Bailey's almost because of the
Exactly.
cinnamon and the nutmegs and the other goodies that they put inside. So it tastes almost like Bailey's, but it's really not. It's an eggnog. It's good.
Mm.
yeah, so that's one of my favorite things during the holiday season. My mother always used to make it from
Me
scratch.
too.
And she'd make 1 or 2 gallons of it. So it would last us like during the season. And one time, I got to tell you a little story. One time, apparently, the children got their hand on it and they were drinking it without my mother's knowledge. And so my mother couldn't understand why everybody was doing the Tokyo drift and some of the children were sleeping. Ketura, I'm sure you could speak to this. I think you were one of the ones that was under the bed sleeping, fell asleep after drinking the eggnog. They were all drunk. All the children were drunk.
I
What?
love it. I love it.
So, so there, these kinds of
Look,
things.
look,
So
we were allowed to get a little drunk back in the day. It's okay.
girl, we ended up a lot drunk because we would eat the black cake with the rum in it. We'd steal pieces of that. We'd be drinking the eggnog, but the beauty about it was we didn't give any trouble after that because everybody would end up sleeping wherever they landed is where it was.
I
But
love
You
it.
know,
I
mom,
sounds
love
like
it.
But mom, don't worry because this is the reason why I bought lots of eggs and stuff like that. Because I'm making that eggnog.
I are you? Oh yeah,
Yeah, and
I'm
it's going to
in.
be.
Okay, put my bottle up. Put my bottle up for
I
me.
will. I got you, Talia.
We have to figure out how to save a bottle of it and send it to Miss Sally. We have to share this. But I
you
think
know.
we're gonna
Easy. You
include the
just
recipe.
save it. Just do it. My granny used to make it and she would not sell it. She would give it away as gifts to people. You remember Paula, she'd make all this stuff, cakes, everything.
Well,
Man,
well,
she
that's
made it all.
yeah, but that's the way my grandmother. That's what I'm telling you. That's the way my grandmother, and my mother was. So when they made all this stuff, nothing was for sale. It would be you can come for Christmas. You have your own cake. You have a bottle of eggnog. You have food that'll last you a whole week.
Fun.
I mean, you have bun, you have the bread, the cocoa bread, you had the cassava pudding. You could take your own, you'd have a whole one for yourself. This was one of the things that I loved as a child during the holiday season. That was my favorite thing, was that there would be all these goodies. And even when the aunts and the cousins would come, everybody brought something. Like you'd bring a bowl of something, a plate of something, something. So that's actually my favorite time. That's the thing that I remember the most as a child growing up. And that's the thing that stays with me, that the holiday season wasn't about any religious dogma. It was about family get together. And it really was about just sharing and loving each other. So I'll stop there. Miss Sally, you have.
I think Miss Sally
We've
has got
lost
knocked
you.
off. She
Can
got okay.
you hear me now? I'm freezing. Am I frozen? Okay.
You're frozen, but we can hear you.
My dogs have decided to say hello. You can hear me now.
Yes, we can hear you, Miss Sally.
This is great. This is super, super awesome. And this resonates so much with, and thank you so much to Leah. You have to be part of that project, the ebook. And you too, Ketura. You just have to join the tribe. You have to join the tribe. We have to do that book. And I love the
Yes, Miss
idea of the
Sally.
ebook and the video, and where we can go to Dr. Ayo and record him talking about his recipes. We come to Ketura, tell us your favorite recipes and how we can make. We're yet to, we actually, Ketura, next Sunday, you need to come and tell us about fine wine. Because now we can see we're getting on top of the hour, but you supposed to present that to us. I know you don't do mommy's traditional wine stuff. That's mommy's thing. But mommy, we want you to tell us next Sunday. I'd love to know how you make ram. If you have like Belizean ram, that would be great. Plus,
Yes.
I really like, yeah. And then
Yes.
also let's get into, yeah, let's get into more discussions on, we come up with specific recipes from A to Z on how you can prepare a specific dish. So we leave people next Sunday going home with specific recipes. And then to all our listeners, thank you so much. Those who are listening on LinkedIn, those who are on YouTube, please do join us on Sunday and come and share with us your recipes, your traditions, how you prepare some food. I've learned something super amazing. I have such an appetite for meat. My apologies to non-meat eaters. So, like, my mouth is already absolutely like that meat that you bake. That must be quite something. So, I'm so looking forward to learning more about different cuisines. This is what we call cultural interactions and sharing and getting to know what others do. I'm sure Miss Yodit will come and tell us how they eat raw meat. Ethiopians eat raw meat, just so you know.
Mhm.
It's a tradition that's done today. And this is not we call it what is this? It's some beef kabachi or something like that. What do you call it?
Yes.
The modern slicey beef that's eaten as a starter in restaurant. No, them it's like super raw meat. You get there and you slice it. And of course, it would be nice to integrate with these cultural differences of eating food. What is your tradition? What's your belief? Why do you eat food with your raw hands? What's your belief? And I'd love to share that and get to know, because we're very strong on eating with our hands and sharing a meal together. Like we put it in one tray and everybody comes and eats it. And we have specific dishes that's how they have to be served. Period. We have like our porridge, and I'd love to know about different porridges you have. And our porridge, we drink in sort of, it's a traditional calabash, and we all pass it on. Sip, you sip.
I'm with
Yes,
it.
Miss Paula.
I'm with it, Miss Sally.
But I
The
also remember,
calabash, I love that. The gourds, yes.
you see, and also remember, those are all traditions that were happening when we didn't have the kind of diseases we have. Right now, you'd be skeptical sharing food with people, the mouth, the hygiene, the hands. Did you wash your hands well? Do you have long nails? We didn't keep nails then. We're cutting our nails
Oh,
short, so we were clean. And of course, our food was organic. Our food was organic, so it wasn't making us thick like food today makes us thick. So I think we're looking forward to next Sunday. If you can all give us your closing remarks, if there's something you'd like to share, and we rock it. This has been super, super awesome. And thanks to you all, I have learned loads. I'm richer today. Would you like us
Th-
to did you like to tell us something today? Okay, Tura.
yeah, either one.
Yeah.
Let's start with Talia. Talia, you go and give us a closing remark. Katura can give us a closing remark, and then we can get out of here. Thank you. Go ahead, Talia.
Well, I just want to say thank you for just creating this platform, for everybody to be able to come together and just, make magic, and you let us realize that magic is still alive and it's real, you know. Also about this the cooking, I really enjoy this platform. If we can take it, like we said, to another level. I want to say I'm not understanding. I'm learning. I didn't know nothing about this new platform, Paula. So it's like I didn't know. I don't even, yeah. So I don't know exactly if we can come back, if this is being recorded, if I can look at it again. How can we look at the chat? I don't know any of that. So I'm learning. So you guys can let me know. In reference to moving forward, I'm ready. Let's do the ebook. However we can make it happen, let's incorporate it, and we could talk about it next week.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Go ahead, Katura.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Talia. Yeah, I agree with you, Talia. I want to be on board with that ebook. I think it's a very lovely idea, for us to just be sharing our recipes and the culture and how it is. For me, I am truly thankful to be a part of this because I just like to interact with different cultures. And not only that, I like to see my brothers and my sisters. Like, I'm like, yes, I'm all about the Black people getting together and making shit happen. So, yeah, I love it. I learned a lot, by the way. And I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to being here next week with you guys. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
And
You can tell that's my child, Miss Sally. Go ahead.
if I can say one more thing, my dog, we were doing vegan. I went vegan for about how long was that, Paul? About 3 4 years, three
Yes.
years. And I just this last November, I started eating meat again, like chicken, things like that, because my family owns a restaurant in California called Little Belize, and it's nothing but
Mm.
Belizean food. And I got an opportunity to work there. But what I was saying is that for the vegan, my daughter has a hand. Like we cook. When you say food is spiritually prepared, well, the food that we cook is also spiritually cooked in reference to your energy and how you feel when you're putting it into that food and what energy you're bringing. So she prepared a vegan pot roast made out of jackfruit, and she ended
Oh,
up putting the picture on a platform on Facebook, which was a cooking platform. And literally, the administrator from the platform contacted her and asked how we can collaborate on something, because the meal that she made literally went viral on her platform. It got over 5,000 I mean, it's like so many views right now. So, yeah, that was something that can definitely, um, what my word is, being a ricochet effect, so to speak.
yeah. So we can integrate some vegan dishes into
Mm.
this as well
Wow.
for those non-meat eaters. I think that's an excellent idea. Another
Yeah,
excellent
that's a good
suggestion,
idea.
Talia. Thank you so much. I want to thank
Mm-hmm.
all of you. I want to thank both of you, young people, Miss Talia and Miss Ketura, for coming on. and spending this time with us. We know it's Sunday. You could be any place else, but we appreciate you being here with us. We appreciate our audience that you're listening on LinkedIn, wherever the platform is that you're listening to the Happiness Tribe on. Please remember that this is what being a tribe is about. It's about sharing, it's about loving unconditionally, and it's about having patience with each other and helping each other to grow. So we thank you so much. And we look forward to this. We look forward to where this conversation is going to go. And we look forward to seeing you again next week. Miss Sally, you have the final say. Please take it away.
This is so beautiful. I'm actually sad it's ending, but we're going to be here right back again, same time, same place next Sunday. And guess what? It's going to be bigger and better because now we have some homework to do. And Tulia, Ketura, you are such a vibe. Don't miss it. You're not part of the tribe. You're in, we've gone through the initiation. You've already eaten the intestines of a chicken. You can run away. You're part of us. And just so you know, this is live. Like we are live on LinkedIn, we are live on YouTube. So I'm gonna say, I mean, if you search us today, we're recording on my YouTube platform, but from next Sunday, we're gonna be recording on the Happiness Tribe. So far, the Happiness Tribe is not on YouTube, but I'll set it up. So next Sunday we'll be live on YouTube for the Happiness Tribe, on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So today we are live on LinkedIn and my YouTube platform. So this is great. And we're going to make more people happy. This is festive season. We need to spread the joy. Discuss food.
Yay!
Absolutely. The other thing I'd like to talk about next week is maybe we can review culture, dances, music, the kind of music that's played for the holiday season. Would be a
Yes.
great follow up for this. So just stay tuned, everyone. Thank you all so much, Miss
I
Sally.
would
You could
I would like to ask a question. I know Miss Sally mentioned that everything is on her YouTube and that how can we because you have a YouTube, so therefore I can go and subscribe to that YouTube as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then we can also go live on YouTube as well, I
Yes.
believe. And I
That's what
Yes.
she
believe
just said, Talia. That's what she just said. We THT is gonna have its own YouTube channel by next Sunday, hon.
I get it, but I know that I knew that YouTube, I believe you have to have like, I think 1,000 views or something before you can go live. Am I correct? Or is that just to have,
No.
or you could just go
No. That,
live, but
yes. Yeah.
okay.
We just go live. So we are streaming on StreamYard. When you stream on StreamYard, you can be on 5 different channels.
Oh,
Platforms. Hmm.
okay.
Yeah, it can be on different platforms when you stream. So we can also I have this recorded on my StreamYard studio. So I can still take this from my StreamYard studio and share the raw version. And we can also edit it and make it better and share with the world on radios, on TVs. We can do anything we want with it.
Excellent. That's an
So is
Yeah.
excellent
there a way that
opportunity.
we can get it first? Like for this particular recording, can I go back and look at it and where can I do that at? That's my question.
Excuse me,
It's
hold
on
on
my
a minute.
studio.
Hold on a minute, Miss
Mm.
Sally. Talia, can you and Miss Sally have this conversation offline? We need to close the house right now, but we can continue this conversation because I understand where you're going with it. I have a pretty good idea of where you're going with this, but let's have this offline. Can we take this offline?
Not a problem.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate you all so much, Miss Sally. We can close up shop.
So you can see Katura, your mom is a school head for this school. So the school
I
head
know.
has spoken, and we respect that. Thank you so much, ladies, and have a super, super Sunday. Enjoy food, enjoy wine. And don't finish that meat for me. I'm coming to the Liz.
We certainly
All
will.
right.
Hugs and kisses and love all over. Beautiful
Love
time.
you, ladies. Thank
Love
you.
you
Thank you
all
Thank
to
you
too.
guys. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.
our listeners. Thank you and bye.
All right. Talk to you later.
Talk to you later.